Hello everybody, this is Brian Seymour, Director of Instructional Technology for Pickerington Local School District. We're going to continue on with our Google 101 courses, and this is Google 101 for Calendar. So we're going to show you some basic features of the Google Calendar, how to create some objects, and then how to share your Google Calendar with others as well. So as you can see, as you open up Google Calendar, and you can open up Google Calendar by going to this 3x3 square and just clicking on Calendar. As you pull it up, as you can see, I've been using this. This is my calendar. You can see quite a few different things. You can see the calendar by a day view. So this would be today, Tuesday. You can see it by a week view. You can see it by a month view. You can see it 4 days in advance. Or you can see it by agenda. An agenda just basically gives a line-by-line item of everything that's going on. You can also print. And you can also refresh, because remember, you can also make changes on an iPhone or an iPad as well. So if you're making multiple changes on multiple devices, you do want to refresh just to make sure that it's all there. So if we go back to week view, we can go through the weeks just by clicking over. You can click on today and shoot right back to today. And then you can scroll up and down to see any of those times. Okay. Also over here, you've got a mini month calendar. So if you wanted to see specifically what's going on in, let's say, December 11th, you can click on those, and voila, there they are. Okay, go back to today. You can also minimize this if you don't want to see that, kind of get it out of your way. My calendars. So my calendar, basically my main calendar, I really only use one calendar. You can do a birthday calendar, so you can toggle that on and off if you don't want to see other people's birthdays. And then you can also do a task. So a task is kind of like a to-do list. So you could keep all your to-do lists, and it'll actually embed it into your calendar. So if you say that I need to have grades uploaded by blah, 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 blah date, it'll actually put a thing in here that says grades are due and uploaded. The other part down here is calendars. These are calendars of people that have shared their calendar with you. All right, so as you can see, Andrea Baldwin created one for teaching and learning. So if we click on that, we can then see her calendar overlaid by mine. So I don't have any editable rights to this, but I could see where this is at. So this would kind of be good for those of you that are multiple disciplines working together. I know special educations use this multiple times to be able to create calendars. You can also go over here and create new calendars. So let's say I wanted to create a technology something kind of calendar. I could create that. You can have as many calendars as you want, and you can share individual calendars with individual people. Okay? So let's say on here I want to create a new event. Well, there's about 4 different ways that you can create an event. Okay? The easiest way is just to go up here to the red button that says Create, click on Create, and let's say I wanted to have a meeting with Bob Blackburn. And let's say I wanted that meeting to start at 10, and the default is an hour. You can also go in here and say location, where do you want to meet at? So we'll say Bob's office. And then I can do calendar, so I can save it to whichever calendar I want. I can do description, LPDC meeting with Bob. Okay. I can make it whatever color I want. I can add an attachment, so if I need to attach an agenda to this, we can do that. I can also do notifications, so I can do a pop-up, which will pop up on my screen. I can also add another notification and make an email, so that I'll actually send an email to my Gmail account. I can show as available or as busy, and then the visibility would probably want to stay as the default calendar. Now let's say I wanted to add Bob to this meeting, so all I need to do is go over here to where it says Add Guests and start typing, and we'll pull up Bob Blackburn. And now he has been added to this meeting. Okay. Suggested times, we'll actually take a look at Bob's calendar as well and say, okay, Bob is available. So Bob looks like he's not available at 10, but he's available at 12. So if I do this, it then changes this to 12. And now I don't have to worry about going back and forth on email going, hey, do you have this time available? Or do you have that time available? Now you're able to see and kind of join that. The other piece that you can do on here that we kind of skipped over is a video call. We can also do Google Hangouts through this meeting. And instead of having to go actually to the meeting, you could do it all right through your computer through voice. Okay, so we're going to eliminate Bob real quick, because if not, Bob would get a message and want to know why he's having a meeting with me. So I click on Save, and there it is, right there. Okay. Now let's say I want to edit that. Something happened. I can go through, just double click on it, and now I can make changes to it. Let's say I want to make that longer. Say I need an hour and a half. I just click and drag and pull it down. Okay. Now let's say if I want to delete some email or delete a message, all I got to do is click on it and click delete, and now it's gone. The other cool thing to create a appointment would be just going to this little thing which is called Quick Add over here. So you click on that and it pulls down. So meeting with, let's say I've got a meeting with Ryan Jenkins on Friday, November 28th at, let's say, 10 a.m. If I click Add, it will then automatically add that meeting into that there for me. So Google basically knows what all that meant. Boom, we now have a meeting. If I want to make this longer, I can make it longer. If I want to move this around, I just click and drag, and now the meeting's at 8, so on and so forth. The other option for adding a meeting would be just to go into your calendar and click where you want it at. So now I say I'm meeting with Sharon Casamilio, teaching and learning, office. Okay. And then once again, I can make a color. And then just click Save. And now we've got that meeting saved inside of there. The other option would be is if you want a longer meeting, you just click, drag, and make your meeting however long you want it to be. Okay. So the last thing I want to talk about is sharing. So sharing with other people in the district. So let's say you want other people to be able to see your calendar. All right, so what you do is you go over here where your name is at, under My Calendars, and you click on the little drop-down arrow. So on the little drop-down arrow, you go to where it says Share this calendar. Okay. Now, the one thing I do want everybody to check, and we made this default, but I want to make sure it works for everybody, is make sure this is not clicked. If this is clicked, that means everybody in Pickerington Local School District, including kids, can be able to see your calendar. You probably don't want that. So just make sure that's not clicked. So let's say that I wanted to share this calendar with our friend that we created earlier, Bob Ross. So all I got to do is click in, type in Bob Ross, and there's his name. Okay. Now before I save this, I want to go over here to Bob Ross, and I want to click on this. And this is where you have the options of what do you want Bob Ross to be able to do with your calendar. So if you want Bob Ross to be able to make changes and manage sharing, okay, then you can click on that. So that would be good if let's say you're a principal or an administrator and you want your building secretary to be able to make appointments for you. You could do this and then they could be able to go back and forth. Make changes to events. This would only be events that you add into your account. So if you add an account, then somebody else could go in and make changes to that account. If you want to see all of the events, they would just be able to see your calendar. That's it. They wouldn't be able to make any changes. And then if you want them only to see when you're free or busy, it'll basically say this time is free, this time is busy, and that's it. So I want Bob Ross to be able to see everything. So save. So if we logged in as Bob Ross, he would now be able to see my calendar and going forward. Okay. So that's Google Calendar. Pretty easy to figure out. So come back for Google Calendar 201, and we're going to talk a little bit about creating multiple calendars and how to share multiple calendars out. All right. Thank you very much.